I understand how worried people are, and I understand that people are struggling.
We've had terrible Prime Minister after terrible Prime Minister. The future's looking quite scary, I think. I think scary is the right word for it.
Government finances are in disarray. Policy making was clearly off the rails.
It looks a very painful 18 months ahead for us.
At the Conservative Party conference this week, the new Prime Minister has been putting on a brave face.
I have three priorities for our economy: growth, growth, and growth.
Despite the smiles and applause, there's deep disquiet within the Tory party about the direction in which Liz Truss and Chancellor Kwasi Kwarteng have been heading.
And that's why our dynamic new Chancellor and I will be taking action.
But it's the action they've already taken that spooked the markets.
The British pound has fallen to its lowest level ever against the US dollar.
Down, 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 down.
The Chancellor's mini-budget, announced late last month, included £45 billion worth of unfunded tax cuts, including relief for high-income earners.
Chancellor, what are you going to do about the turmoil on the markets this morning, sir?
Investors were so rattled by the lack of transparency and the risks of inflation, the Bank of England, the UK's central bank, had to step in and buy government debt to avert a crisis.
You know, in a sense, it was the bank saying to the government, could you please straighten it out? You know, we're bailing you out for a short period, but don't expect that to continue.
Facing an internal revolt, the government scrapped its tax cuts for the wealthy. Since then, the pound's improved, but some analysts think it could drop below the strengthening US dollar by year's end.
Psychological significance, if it were to happen, would be enormous. Political impact of that would be enormous. We're a very heavily import-dependent economy in the UK, and both a lot of what we eat, a lot of what we buy as consumers is directly affected.
While Australia's inflation is running at 6.8%, here in the UK, prices are almost 10% higher than they were last year. At his fish and chip shop in central London, Ash Ergisi says he's being hit from all sides. Brexit's made it harder to find staff, so he's paying more in wages. It's also pushed the price of fish up. The lower pound and higher fuel costs mean most of his other ingredients have increased in price too. And the war in Ukraine's made cooking oil a hot commodity because seeds are in short supply.
So Ash, this is liquid gold these days, I hear.
It is liquid gold. Each pan takes about 40 litres. We use rapeseed oil here.
And how much has that gone up in the last few months?
Doubled up.
Wow.
Where it would have cost us just under £40. Now we're paying over £83, £84.
To make matters worse, authorities are warning there's a significant risk of a gas shortage this coming winter. Ash isn't sure whether his business will survive.
How are you feeling generally about the country at the moment? Is it a sort of place that fills you with much hope?
Not much, especially with the latest blunders by the government, which has not helped. We need people to spend money, so if you start making a lot of errors where the interest rates go up, where the pound loses a lot of its value, it is difficult. People do not come out.
Across the UK, families are bracing for their standard of living to fall as prices rise.
Food shopping is the main one with two growing boys. They eat so much food.
Sam and Lindsay Ellis from southwest London were thinking about upsizing their home, but with rising interest rates, they're now more worried about keeping the home they have.
Bye, Mum.
The Truss government is borrowing tens of billions of pounds to cap the average family energy bill at £2,500 per year. But the Ellises will be joining millions of Britons who are either turning their heating down or off.
Any credit the government got for the energy costs has been completely decimated by the mortgage change for us. That's a much bigger worry. We've had the same party in power for a long time now, and things aren't better. And I think that the reality is that a lot of the blame has to lie there.
The Conservative Party will always be the party of low
Despite the threat of worsening inflation, the Prime Minister is adamant the country can grow itself out of an economic hole through tax cuts, the bulk of which she's vowing to keep.
We can't give in to those who say Britain can't grow faster. We can't give in to those who say we can't do better. We must stay the course.
This is the most ideological government I can recall. I've lived in this country since I was a graduate student. Some people have said in the aftermath of the mini budget, this is moron economics. I don't say that. They're not morons. They're smart, but they're ideological. This is faith-based economics. And most of us just don't share the faith.